I met Ian and I fell in love. He was a lawyer, he just qualified, and he was very handsome and very funny, so like I said, I was mad about him.
It's clear from experts in the field that not everyone who takes cocaine will become addicted or react fatally. Aoife's story was typical. Most users talked of how their drug habits developed from recreational use to serious addiction. Yet it affected every aspect of their lives.
He wasn't himself. He'd lost that sort of, he was always really kind of vain and into his looks and stuff. And he just, I don't know, he stopped really caring that much about all of that. There was a voice in my head, a voice of guilt, I suppose, that I was asking myself the questions, what are you doing here? How did you end up here? Nice. I was able to manage my life. I was able to organise my week and get by at school. I was able to be this model girlfriend to this man, but I wasn't able to mind my house. I wasn't able to pay my bills on time. There just wasn't enough of me to go around. I made a decision. I just didn't want to be a woman that would go down into increasingly bad health. But I absolutely refused to be a junkie for the rest of my life. I made a decision to commit suicide. I didn't want to die. I just wanted to get out of using drugs.
The crash is pretty awful. We're talking about a very severe acute depression, a real black hole, to the point where sometimes people will seek suicide to really put out the lights, to put out the pain that they feel when they crash.
Things were really different between us then, and not in a good way for me. I felt that there was a huge distance between us now. I was stuck back where we had been, and he had moved on, and I just felt really left behind, doing coke on the kitchen table before work in the morning by myself. I was just terrified that I was going to lose him, and I felt betrayed by him for leaving me behind as well. He'd read the bloody 12 steps to me every morning over his coffee, and I was so jealous of him. You know, he had this new thing, his interest, and it didn't include me, and I got very angry. I remember I picked up his notes and I just started reading the 12 steps, and I just decided I'd go to the next meeting with him. And that was the last day that I used cocaine. On the good days, when I feel strong, I try and help him, you know, and encourage him, and sort of try to imagine maybe in a year's time we'll be celebrating being pregnant and decorating a nursery or something. But I don't know, even as I say that now, I don't really believe it, you know.
Aoife and her boyfriend had both sought treatment and managed to stay clean for 3 years. However, recently she revealed things were not going well.
Ian is using again. He went to a stag party just at the end of last year. It was just a bunch of friends from work, so total cliche, you know, they're all at it, letting their hair down and celebrating, drinking champagne, and I mean, it was obviously not an ideal situation for him to be in. But none of those lads know anything about his history, so there was no one there to just keep an eye on him or look out for him. We usually socialise as a couple, but obviously I couldn't go to something like that, you know. And I can't describe how I felt. Just panic that, you know, he was back there, and was he going to drag me in there, and what about our future and all our plans that we had together, and it was bound to happen to one of us at some stage in our lives. I mean, it could have just as easily have been me. It was just such familiar territory, and it was just so easy to do, you know.